Today, we will discuss the practical of malaria and amoebiasis. Our spiritual guru Pramukh Sai Maharaj has once said that when you have God, you have everything. So if we keep faith in the God, we can earn everything. By keeping in this mind, that we start today's practical. Now, before starting the anti-malarial therapy, first we will see the life cycle of the malaria. It is not only important in microbiology, but in pharmacology also it is very important. If you know very well about the life cycle of malaria, you can easily understand the site of the antimalarial drug and their action. So today we will see the life cycle of malaria in two parts. One part in the mosquito itself and second part in the human being. So we begin with the human being life cycle. When the female Anopheles mosquito takes the blood meal, it injects sporozoites in the human being. These sporozoites are the infective form of the plasmodia. It enters into bloodstream, reaches into liver cells, infect the liver cells, and now these sporozoites are converted into the schizont. These schizones also mature, ruptures, and it releases merozoites in the bloodstream. So this is the first part from the entry of the sporozoites to the conversion of the merozoites. This is known as the pre-erythrocytic cycle. Pre means before, erythrocytic means RBC. So this is the before invasion of the plasmodia in the RBC, which is known as the pre-erythrocytic cycle. Now we all know there are four species of malaria: P. vivax, P. ovale, P. falciparum, and P. malaria. Now one important thing is that in case of P. vivax and P. ovale only, one of the infective form of the parasite, which is known as hypnozoites, it may remain in the dormant stage in the liver cell for a long time. After some time, it is converted into schizones, matures, ruptures, and releases merozoites in the bloodstream. So this is known as relapse in case of P. vivax and P. ovale due to persistence of the hypnozoites in the liver cell. So this is the first part of the life cycle in the human being, which is known as the pre-erythrocytic or exoerythrocytic cycle. Now second part is known as the erythrocytic cycle, that is the entry of the merozoites in the RBC of the human being. After entry of the merozoites in the RBC of the human being, it is converted into the immature trophozoites, ring stage. Some of these immature trophozoites are converted into the mature trophozoites. Again, it is converted into the schizones. These schizones matures, ruptures, and again it releases the merozoites in the bloodstream and infect the other RBC. So, in this way, more and more RBC are infected, more and more RBC are involved. So, this is the second part, which is known as the erythrocytic cycle. And clinical manifestation of the malaria occur during this cycle, that is the erythrocytic cycle. Now, here, some of the immature trophozoites, they are also converted into the gametocyte, which is also one of the form of the malarial parasite. These gametocytes are very important. When the female Anopheles mosquito takes the blood meal from the human being blood, they takes the gametocytes from the human being. There are two types of gametocytes. One is the microgametocytes, and second is the macrogametocytes. That is the male and female gametocytes respectively. When the mosquito takes the blood meal, it takes the gametocytes. These macrogametocytes and microgametocytes, they combine in the stomach of the mosquito. They are converted into ookinete. These ookinete are converted into mature oocyst. These mature oocysts are converted into sporozoites. They release sporozoites in the bloodstream of the mosquito. These sporozoites via the bloodstream reaches into salivary gland of the mosquito. So in this way, when female Anopheles mosquito takes a blood meal, it injects sporozoites in the human being and life cycle continues. So in life cycle of malaria, we can see the three important points. First point, the drug which can kill the hypnozoites of the P. vivax and P. ovale in the exoerythrocytic cycle. They are important for treatment of the relapse and which is known as the radical cure. Second point, some drugs which are effective in the erythrocytic cycle, which can kill the erythrocytic schizoid, and some drug also kills the pre-erythrocytic schizoid. So these both drugs are useful in treatment of malaria or either in chemoprophylaxis of the malaria. Third point, the gametocyte, which is the transmission form of the human being to the mosquito. Some drugs can kill the gametocyte, which is known as the gametocidal. The drugs which are gametocidal are useful in the community. They can prevent the transmission of the malarial parasite from one person to the another person. So they are beneficial not to the patient himself but to the society. So this is the briefly about the life cycle of malaria. Here in this chart, we can see the drug acting on the different stage of the malaria life cycle. Previously, we have seen the chart of the malarial life cycle in which we have seen the pre-erythrocytic stage, first stage of the malarial life cycle in the human being. Only two drugs are effective in the pre-erythrocytic stage. One is the proguanil, which is effective in the falciparum pre-erythrocytic stage, while primaquine, which is effective in the both P. falciparum and P. vivax pre-erythrocytic stage. Second is the erythrocytic phase. All drugs are effective in the erythrocytic phase of the malarial life cycle except primaquine, chloroquine, mefloquine, quinine, proguanil, pyrimethamine, sulfonamide, tetracycline, clindamycin, artemisinin, and lumefantrine all are effective in the erythrocytic phase of the malaria life cycle. So they are given in treatment of the malaria or either they are given for prophylaxis of the malaria. One important form of the malaria is the hypnozoid. Here, only one drug is effective against the hypnozoid, that is the primaquine. It can kill the hypnozoid, so it can prevent the relapse in case of P. vivax and P. ovale, as we have seen in the malarial life cycle. One important form of the malaria is the gametes. That is the transmission from human being to the mosquito. So two drugs are effective against the gamete. One is the primaquine and the second is the artemisinin. So here both are the gametocidal. So it can prevent the transmission from the malarial parasite from one person to the another person. So they are beneficial in the community transmission. Now we will see some terminology in the malaria treatment. First is the relapse. We all know in case of P. vivax and P. ovale, a dormant stage which is known as hypnozoids can persist in the liver if untreated and can cause the relapse by invading the bloodstream weeks or even years later. So what is the radical cure? The drug which can kill the hypnozoids in the exerythrocytic phase are known as the radical cure for malaria. Second is the recrudescence. There is some difference between the relapse and recrudescence. In case of recrudescence, plasmodia remains in the blood at a very low level and patient remains symptom free for some time. After some time, again multiplication of the plasmodia occur and symptom recurs. It can occur in the all malarial species, while relapse occur only in case of P. vivax and P. ovale. So what is the clinical cure? Drugs which can kill the erythrocytic schizontocides are known as the clinical cure of the malaria. Now we will see the treatment of malaria. First we will see the treatment of P. vivax malaria, uncomplicated and complicated form. Then treatment of P. falciparum malaria, uncomplicated and complicated form. Treatment of malaria during the pregnancy. Mixed infection of P. vivax and P. falciparum. And chemoprophylaxis for malaria. So first, we will see the treatment of uncomplicated P. vivax malaria according to NVBDCP India, that is the National Vector-Borne Disease Control Program Guideline of India. So how can we treat the uncomplicated P. vivax malaria? There are two drugs for treatment. One is the chloroquine and second second is the primaquine. Chloroquine dose is the 10 milligram per kg, that is the 600 milligram adult dose, once in a day on day 1. On day 2, again same dose is repeated, that is the 10 milligram per kg adult dose 600 milligram once in a day. And on day 3, dose is the 5 milligram per kg, adult dose is the 300 milligram once in a day. So total duration of therapy is 3 days, and total dose is the 10 plus 10 plus 5 milligram per kg, that is the 25 milligram per kg, or adult dose is the 1500 milligram. There is one important note in chloroquine. Chloroquine given in the chloroquine phosphate form, in which 250 milligram of the chloroquine phosphate is equivalent to the 150 milligram of base. So here required dose is the 600 milligram on day 1. So base is the 150 milligram. So 4 tablets are required on day 1. Again 4 tablets are required on day 2, and 2 tablets are required on day 3. As chloroquine can cause gastritis, nausea and vomiting side effects, so it is always taken after meal for prevention of such side effects. Second drug is the primaquine. Dose is the 0.25 milligram per kg or 15 milligram adult dose. It is given once in a day. It is given once daily for 14 days. The total duration of therapy is 2 weeks. It is also available in the primaquine phosphate form, where primaquine phosphate 26 mg is equivalent to the 15 mg of the base. It is also taken after meal. What is the role of paracetamol? Paracetamol is given for symptomatic relief of the fever. It can be safely given at any age and even during the pregnancy in appropriate dosage form. Now, these are some important points regarding the treatment of PYVX malaria. Primaquine is a drug of choice for prevention of the relapse in PYVX, but it is contraindicated in infant less than 1 year of age, pregnant woman, and individual with the G6PD deficiency. If it is given in the G6PD deficient individual, it can cause hemolysis. What is the role of primaquine in PYVX? Actually, there are two roles. First role, it can prevent the relapse by killing the hypnozoids in the liver, and second, it can prevent the transmission by killing the gametocytes. There is one new drug, that is the tafenoquine. It is also same role. It can prevent the relapse by killing the hypnozoids. One advantage of tafenoquine is that primaquine total duration of therapy is the 14 days, while tafenoquine is given single dose, that is the 150 milligram single dose, for radical cure of the PYVX in more than 18 years of age. It is also approved by the FDA. Now, we will see the treatment of uncomplicated P. falciparum malaria. Drug of choice is the ACT, that is the artemisinin based combination therapy. There are 3 artemisinin. One is the artesunate, second is the artemether, and third is the arteether. In ACT combination, any one of these 3 artemisinin can be given. Why there is a combination therapy? Why artemisinin are not given alone? Because artemisinin having the shorter half-life, and it can kill the more than 95% of plasmodia within this shorter half-life, but remaining plasmodia may be activated and it can cause recrudescence in malaria. So it is always combined with the other antibiotic having the longer half-life. So it can kill the remaining plasmodia and it can prevent the chance of relapse and recrudescence. We will see the treatment of uncomplicated P. falciparum malaria, that is the ACT, artemisinin based combination therapy. Government of India has approved 5 such regimens for treatment of uncomplicated P. falciparum malaria. First combination is the artesunate plus SP combination. S is for sulfadoxine and P is for pyrimethamine. Both drugs are given together. Why both are combined together? Because sulfadoxine and pyrimethamine Both can sequentially inhibit the folic acid synthesis in plasmodia. So both has supra-additive effect. So dose of the artesunate, dose is the 100 milligram twice a day, that is the 4 milligram per kg on day 1, 2 and 3. Dose of sulfadoxine is 1500 milligram or 25 milligram per kg, and dose of pyrimethamine is 75 milligram or 125 milligram per kg on day 1 only. This combination artesunate plus sulfadoxine pyrimethamine, it is given in all area of India except in northeastern states. Why it is not given in these states? Because in these states there is resistance to artesunate plus SP develops. Third drug is the primaquine for treatment of uncomplicated P. falciparum malaria. It is not included in ACT regimen, but it is always given. Dose is the 45 milligram, that is the 0.75 milligram per kg on day 2 only. This is the first regimen. Second regimen is the combination of artemether plus lumefantrine. Dose of the artemether is the 80 milligram twice a day on day 1, 2 and 3. And dose of lumefantrine is the 480 milligram twice a day on day 1, 2 and 3. It is given in northeastern states where patient develop resistance to artesunate plus SP. It is always taken with the fatty meals for better absorption. Here primaquine is also given in P. falciparum malaria. These are the other regimens which are approved by the Government of India for treatment of uncomplicated P. falciparum malaria. Third regimen is the combination of the artesunate plus mefloquine. Artesunate dose is the 100 milligram twice a day, 4 milligram per kg on day 1, 2 and 3. And mefloquine dose is the 750 milligram or 15 milligram per kg on second day and 500 milligram or 10 milligram per kg on third day. So it is given on day 2 and 3 only. Fourth regimen is the artesunate plus amodiaquine. Dose of the artesunate remains the same. Dose of the amodiaquine is the 600 milligram, that is the 10 milligram per kg per day on day 1, 2 and 3. Fifth combination is the dihydroartemisinin plus piperaquine. Dose of the dihydroartemisinin is the 120 milligram or 2 milligram per kg on day 1, 2, 3. Dose of the piperaquine is the 960 milligram or 16 milligram per kg on day 1, 2 and 3. Now remember that primaquine 45 milligram, that is the 0.75 milligram per kg on day 2 is given in the all these regimens. Which are the advantages of ACT? It has high cure rates, more than 95%, and low recrudescence rate. It has rapid clinical and parasitological cure. There is absence of the parasite resistance because in the combination therapy, the components prevent the development of resistance to each other and there is good tolerability profile, so side effects are less. But one thing should be remembered, ACT is not to be given in first trimester of pregnancy. And now here, what is the role of primaquine in P. falciparum? We have seen in the life cycle also, it can prevent the transmission by killing the gametocyte. So here, primaquine therapy is not beneficial to the patient himself, but it is beneficial to the community. It can prevent the transmission of malaria from one person to the another person. Now this is the treatment of malaria in pregnancy. Uncomplicated PVX case, full course of chloroquine should be given for 3 days as we have seen earlier. Remember one point, primaquine is contraindicated during the pregnancy. Now treatment of uncomplicated P. falciparum in pregnancy. We have seen ACT are contraindicated during the first trimester. So here quinine is given in the dose of 10 milligram per kg 3 times in a day for 7 days. Quinine may cause hypoglycemia as side effect and it is taken after meal. Second part is the clindamycin. Dose of the clindamycin is 10 milligram per kg twice a day for 7 days. During second and third trimester, area specific ACT is given as we have seen earlier. Now what is the treatment of mixed infection? That is the infection of P. vivax together with the infection of P. falciparum. All mixed infections should be treated with the full course of ACT and Primaquine 0.25 mg per kg body weight should be given daily for 14 days. What is the treatment of P. ovale and P. malaria? Actually in India, these species are very rarely found, but P. ovale should be treated as P. vivax and P. malaria should be treated same as the P. falciparum. Now before seeing the treatment of severe and complicated malaria, we will see which are the characteristics of severe and complicated malaria. Serious complications can arise in the P. falciparum infection, rarely in the P. vivax malaria. One or more than one of the following signs, symptoms, or laboratory data may suggest a severe and complicated malaria. First is the confusion or drowsiness with the extreme weakness, cerebral malaria with the generalized convulsion, pulmonary edema, severe anemia, renal failure, hypoglycemia, metabolic acidosis, circulatory collapse or shock, and macrocytic hemoglobinuria or hyperthermia. Any one or more than one of these symptoms or sign or laboratory data are suggestive of the severe and complicated malaria. Now, what is the treatment of severe and complicated malaria? It remains same in case of P. falciparum or P. vivax malaria. According to guideline of Government of India, initially in all cases, parenteral treatments are given for at least 48 hours and thereafter in follow-up treatment when patient can take the oral medication, oral drugs are given. There are 4 options for treatment of parenteral treatment. First is the quinine. Initially it is given in loading dose, that is the 20 mg per kg. It is diluted in the 10 ml per kg 5% of dextrose or dextrose saline solution to prevent the hypoglycemia. It is infused IV over the 4 hours and thereafter it is followed by maintenance dose, that is the 10 mg per kg IV infusion over the 4 hours in case of adult and 2 hours in case of children. It is repeated every 8 hourly until patient can swallow. When patient can take the oral medication, patient becomes conscious. Thereafter, oral quinine tablet form is given in 10 mg per kg 3 times in a day, either with the doxycycline 100 mg once a day or clindamycin. It is given in pregnant women and children under the 8 years of age where the doxycycline is contraindicated. Dose of the clindamycin is 600 mg twice a day for 7 days. Total duration of therapy including the parenteral treatment plus oral treatment should be 7 days. Here you can give the area specific ACT instead of quinine or doxycycline or quinine or clindamycin combination. Other treatment option for severe and complicated malaria. Second option is the artesunate therapy. It is given 2.4 mg per kg intravenously or intramuscularly, which is followed by 2.4 mg per kg after 12 and 24 hours, and then it is given once a day. Third option is the artemether. Dose is the 3.2 mg per kg intramuscularly on the first day, which is followed by 1.6 mg per kg once a day. And fourth option is the arteether. Dose is the 150 mg daily intramuscularly for 3 days. It is given in adults only. It is not given in children. After receiving the parenteral treatment, in follow-up treatment when patient can take the oral medication, patient becomes conscious, you can give the full oral course of area specific ACT for 3 days, which we have seen earlier. Now here there are 4 options for treatment of the severe and complicated malaria, but nowadays Artemisinin based combination, artesunate, artemether, or arteether options are more suitable because artemisinin are more safe, having the higher efficacy, faster onset of action, and dosing schedule is simple as compared to the quinine therapy. So artesunate or artemether therapy are more preferable in case of severe and complicated malaria. Now, what is the chemoprophylaxis? Prophylaxis means the prevention of the malarial sign and symptom before entry of the plasmodia into human blood. And when it is given, chemoprophylaxis should be given only when traveling from the non-endemic to the highly endemic area of malaria. For example, we all know India is the highly endemic to the malaria. So when people from the US and UK are coming to the India, which are the non-endemic area of the malaria, in this case, people should take the chemoprophylaxis against the malaria for prevention of the malarial attack. Now, there are the two types of the chemoprophylaxis. One is the short-term chemoprophylaxis for shorter stay, that is up to 6 weeks in the endemic area. Drug of choice is the doxycycline. It is given 100 mg once daily for adults and 1.5 mg per kg once daily for children. The drug should be started 2 days before traveling. It should be continued during traveling and should be given for 4 weeks after leaving the endemic area. There is one important note. It is not recommended for pregnant women and children less than 8 years of age because it can cause side effect and toxicity. Second option is the chemoprophylaxis for longer stay, that is the more than 6 weeks of staying in the endemic area. Here drug of choice is the mefloquine. It is given 250 mg weekly for adults and should be given 2 weeks before journey, continue during journey and should be given 4 weeks after the exposure to endemic area. There is one important note. Mefloquine is contraindicated in individuals with a history of convulsions, neuropsychiatric problems and cardiac condition. Now here we are revising the treatment of malaria. In case of P-Vivex uncomplicated malaria, treatment of choice is the chloroquine 3 days treatment plus primaquine of 14 days. In case of P-Vivex complicated malaria, treatment remains same as the P. falciparum. In case of P. falciparum uncomplicated case, drug of choice is the oral ACT regimen for 3 days or you can give QD, that is the combination of quinine plus doxycycline, or QC, that is the combination of quinine plus clindamycin for 7 days. In case of complicated and severe P. falciparum malaria, drug of choice are parenteral artemisinin or quinine, which should be followed by oral ACT 3 days course or quinine plus doxycycline or quinine plus clindamycin can be given. Thank you.